Welcome to Beyond the Physical, a podcast that uncovers the secrets to tapping into the world beyond form to thrive in life and business. I'm your host, Sitara Faye, a world-renowned psychic medium, quantum business coach, and your guide on this journey beyond the physical. Each episode will dive into spiritual insights, intuitive wisdom, and practical strategies to help you discover your personal greatness. Please feel free to find me on Instagram and YouTube at sitara.speaks for daily connection. Thank you for joining us, and let's get started. Before we proceed with today's episode, please note that this was originally recorded as an Instagram Live, and you'll notice some instances where I encourage some interaction. If you find yourself wanting to do so or to catch us live, please feel free to dial in by commenting on any of my posts on Instagram, and I'll be happy to send you a DM. Hello, my loves. I've been having that feeling that I need to hop on here, and I haven't had that in a while, so I'm excited to see what comes through. My intention here really is to help us smooth through the eclipse energies. Some of us may be feeling some intensities. My other intention really, I posted in our entity clearing masterclass, and some of you were here in that journey. Some of you were here watching us get started with that. But as we're hopping on here, hi. Welcome, my loves. If you can go ahead and let me know where it is that you are tuning in from. I love to see how global our community is. I saw your dragon artwork. Is this part of the Sophia Code teachings? Hello, I have read the Sophia Code. I absolutely love and adore Kyra. I love her work. I'm also born in the Chinese zodiac year of the dragon. And so I've been working with and channeling dragons for many years before I found the Sophia Code. But the Sophia Code has, of course, helped to increase that. And so yeah, lots of beauty there. Dragons there's so many ways to connect with dragons. Beautiful. You started reading the Sophia Code in Canada. Yes. All right. Texas. Welcome. Hello. Playa del Carmen, Mexico, Israel, Helsinki, Vegas. Hello. Rotterdam, Bolivia. Hello, my friends. Hello. Okay, so I wanted to touch in here. What year was 87? You're going to go ahead and have to Google that. Washington State. Yes, I love Washington. I've spent many moons in Washington. All right, so how are we feeling with these eclipse energies? What is coming up for you? And I want to specifically address the entity clearing masterclass that we did. The core principles of that, as some of you may have seen in some of my lives, is that the core principle around that is that we want to go ahead and go in to the lowest vibrational point of attraction. So when we have things or circumstances going on in our life and we're like, why is this here? What is this doing here? If we co-create our reality and we have to take some self-responsibility, all responsibility on what it is that we are experiencing in our world and in our life, then certain things are going to really start dredging up some of those lowest vibrational patterns. So this eclipse is doing exactly that. And so as we are able to activate and connect to the eclipse energies and basically be able to maximize it, right? How do we maximize? Because right now it's not a time to manifest. It's not actually a time to be going to the vision board. It's not actually a time to, right? Because we've already done that. If you've been running on my channel and my wavelength this last year, we've already done a lot of that. We've done a lot of clearing space. We've done a lot of visioning, the quantum leap immersive, quantum cash flow. There's been a lot of that. But right now is not the time to manifest. Right now is the time to address what's coming up as it's coming up. So it's like if something is triggering you, if something is coming up from the depths, from the subconscious, and you acknowledge, okay, there's something that's going on. I'm feeling agitated. I'm feeling irritable. I'm angry. I don't really know why I'm angry. I'm snapping at people I shouldn't be snapping at. Whatever that is, it's that or however that's showing up for you is that ultimately there's a pattern that's coming up from your subconscious that is desiring attention. It is desiring your focus. It is desiring reconciliation. It is desiring that what it wants is integration. It wants to become a part of the wholeness within you. So when we have these can you guys do that with me? It's that feeling. It's when that feeling comes up. Do we sit with it? Do we face it? Do we welcome it to the table and we say, hi, I'm here with you? What is it that you have to show me? What is it that you have to teach me? When we do that, rather than trying to drink it away or numb it away or whatever coping mechanism we're at, right? It's like, instead of trying to push it away or say that you're too busy, even your busyness is a defense mechanism that doesn't allow you the time and spaciousness to integrate. So that period of integration, it's that right now in this eclipse window, there's an opportunity for you to maximize the energy that is here by being efficient with what is arising. And so that efficiency with what is arising, I've got a whole library in a line of different transmissions that will help address whatever it is that's coming up. But ultimately, it's that when we acknowledge what is alive for us and we acknowledge what it is that's coming up. And for those of us that did the entity clearing masterclass, I mentioned that Spirit was very adamant with me about it being September 10th, September 12th, and September 14th. And now I'm seeing very clearly that it was because there is this catalyst, right? The entity clearing masterclass is let's go into the core root of our system that is attracting our lowest vibrational point of magnetism. And let's be with that. Let's honor it. It's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's excruciating. Sometimes it has grief involved because things fall out of your life. Who here has been experiencing grief in the last month? Things flying out of your life that you thought were there, that you thought were stable, that you thought were grounded. It's like things are just like dissipating. We're being rearranged. It's like attracts like. The universal force of that law of attraction is picking up. It's picking up speed. It's picking up momentum. It's picking up so much for us. And so I wanted to come on here live and talk with you about how can we maximize that energy? How can we get the most out of that energy? Meaning if we A+ what it is that's coming up now during this eclipse window, we don't have to do it again. Now, if something comes up and we go, I don't want to deal with it, I'm not going to face it, and we just kind of get through it, and we just kind of like grin and bear it, you're not maximizing it. You're not going to shift onto your next highest available timeline. Eclipse windows happen twice a year. So this is the time that it's kind of like a slingshot. It's like the eclipse kind of feels like we're being pulled back because it's like, angst, intensity, kind of feel like Ace Ventura climbing out of the rhino butt. You know what I mean? You're like, you're just trying to like get out of this sticky, heavy, dense, like weirdness. It's in your chest. It's in your conversations. It's in your dynamics in your relationships. You're like, I don't know why we're dissonant. It's just simply because things are being pulled out. They're being shooken up. It's coming up. It's coming out. You're allowing yourself to be with it. Now, here's where spiritual alchemy, like rubber hits the road, right? This is the groundedness, is that you can be spiritual, but you can bypass all sorts of stuff, right? We've already seen that. That's not what we do here. We don't do fluffy bunny. We do face your shit and alchemize it to gold. We do address what is coming up, address the discomfort, acknowledge your role in it, acknowledge what your behavior is doing to encourage whatever loop that you're on, your addiction to struggle, your addiction to victimization, your addiction to bad relationships, your addiction to whatever it is, it's that we have to take personal self-responsibility to look these parts of ourselves in the mirror and say, you are worthy of love. I am worthy of love. What are the nuggets that are in that are in what you've been resisting, that are in what you have been ignoring, that are in the parts of you that you have not been willing to see, the parts of you that you have not been willing to self-accept, the parts of you that you have not been willing to truly, maybe even sometimes humbly fall to your knees and apologize, to say, I haven't been serving myself. I haven't been addressing these parts of me that have been calling for attention. And so when we give ourselves the opportunity to be with all of us, every single part that makes up your entire wholeness, your entire personality, everything that's ever happened in your life for you and to you, anything that's ever happened in your life because of you, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's that all of these circumstances are forgivable and all of these circumstances are lovable. And so that's how we maximize this eclipse energy, is that this eclipse is basically like, picking up the rock in the garden and going, hey, did you look under here? Did you look under here? Because there's some weeds growing and it's some time to maybe address some of these weeds that are growing so that they don't overtake, everything that we're creating. And so the eclipse is a really supportive time if we can see it like that. So are you willing to see this eclipse window as a supportive time? We have one more week left. It's a 2-week period. So we have one more week where we are in this window. It ends October 2nd. And so for the next week, I want to just share this note of intention with you that no matter what it is that arises, the stickiness with family, partners, business, literally whatever it is, that we take a moment to pause and take a moment to breathe. And when we take that moment to breathe and we have the intention within us to integrate, it's going to do that. You are going to integrate with that single individual breath. Now, of course, if you're in a line, you know that you have an extraordinary amount of resources to go to. So I want to remind you to go and listen to the transmissions. If you're not yet in a line, of course, I want to invite you. You can check out the links in the bios. I've got a whole plethora of transmissions as well on YouTube. There's so much support from what I can do in my channel and my connection to help us ascend. Right? That's my encoding. That's my purpose here. And so when we're talking about this eclipse window, it is our opportunity to ascend. And ascend to me means to bring that lowest vibrational frequency to the top. And bring that lowest vibrational frequency to the top, and bring that lowest vibrational frequency to the top, so that the entirety of your frequency as a whole is continuing to rise in vibrational consciousness. And as you rise in vibrational consciousness, it means that you are aligning to the timelines that are serving your highest and best. And it means that you are aligning to the people, places, things, the opportunities, right place, right time, these things that are culminating in your favor, and not just in your favor, in the favor of your soul purpose, in the favor of your community, your inner circle, your family, your friends, all of that. Are you with me on this one? Do you see how we can turn this eclipse energy intensity into fuel? Yay, I don't know what we did here, but let's celebrate. But we're turning that eclipse intensity, that like agitation, that feeling like you're just contracted and you can't quite get out of it, or you're laying in bed and you just can't quite get comfortable, or whatever that is, we're gonna alchemize that. We're gonna transmute it by setting the intention that instead of this being an uncomfortable or debilitating period, we're actually gonna turn that frequency into rocket fuel. And we're gonna turn that frequency into rocket fuel to basically come through and burn away the debris of your subconscious patterns that you adopted from mom, that you adopted from dad, that you adopted adopted 6 generations back from one pattern of abuse, wherever, whatever it is, doesn't even matter. It's that if we look at the frequency that is embedded into our subconscious mind, that is that point of attraction, that's where we are going to go, okay, enough. For those of you that have been in the, trying to think, if you type leap, I think if you type leap in the comments here, you will be able to access the Quantum Leap Handbook. It's a freebie, but the Quantum Leap Handbook is going to tell you exactly the combination of events that are required in order to make a quantum leap. And one of them specifically is, it's being fed up. It's being fed up. It's that energy of absolutely not, no more. Absolutely not in front of me. Absolutely not here, not now. That energy of fed up becomes this absolute, I'm not going lower than this. And this is why everybody's rock bottom is different, by the way. For those of you who have had, challenges in drugs or alcohol addiction, or even financial desperation, or even abusive relationships, it's like those parts of life that just are absolutely treacherous. Ultimately, there's a part of us that has to say, no, I'm not tolerating this anymore. And that toleration to the universe is where we basically get to say enough. But we have to do it from a place of integrating the frequency in our body. And so it's not enough to just choose with our mind, I'm not going to do this anymore. We have to change our actions, we have to change our behavior, and we have to change our frequency. And the frequency is your point of attraction. It's your point of magnetic attraction as to why the circumstances are in your life in the first place. Are you following me here? So this right now, the agitation, the anger, the just why do I not feel so good? Why can't I get myself in a good mood? It is supporting you to do the excavating, but you have to be willing to do the excavating yourself in order to maximize what is here and what is available for you during this eclipse window. Now, here's the exciting part. Here's the rewarding part. And I'm not making the rules, by the way. I'm just telling you how it is. It's that, right, if we know that this is a slingshot and the eclipse energy is pulling us back even just a little bit, but if we maximize it and we go, okay, what else is here? What else can I clear? What else can I, because let me tell you, once you start like pulling the string and you're like, oh, that anger was from that memory. Who here has had repressed memories come up in the last month? I have. What a bitch those are. So you start pulling that thread and you're like, okay, that's there. And then it's like, oh, what else is there? What else is there? What else is there? What else is there? And that's where you just want to start going and going and going and going and like pull the ripcord on it, right? Like pull the ripcord on it, get as much out of it as you possibly can while it is alive. Because here's the thing. It's that when you face it and you face it consciously, it doesn't come back. The only reason we loop or we go, oh, I'm on a spiral, I thought I cleared that, is because when you cleared it before, you cleared it at the maximum capacity of your emotional capacity. You cleared it at the maximum of what you could handle at that time. Well, the reason repressed memories come back, even if you're like, oh, I thought I cleared that, it's ultimately because now there's a different field in your field, a different field in your space that is saying, I can handle more. And so that's what I'm saying is expand that field and expand that capacity in a way that gives you that just breath, that strength, that courage, that I will not take anymore. You activate that inner lion and you say enough. I'm not carrying this with me anymore. This is no longer my story. This is no longer my identity. And go, start diving down, 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 down. Find the bottom and bring the light. Because when you bring your conscious light to the bottom of your subconscious, like world of despair, we all have it, by the way, every single human being in this world. When we bring our light into that pocket of despair that is within us, that is whatever that thing is for us, that negative story we tell ourselves about who we are and what we're here to do in this world, where all the imposter syndrome and the lack of self-confidence and the blah, 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 blah. That's the official term for it, okay? Blah, 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 blah. We bring the light into that space and we start alchemizing and transmuting, and we bring it to that space with the power and the support of this eclipse window. Now, of course, you can do this any time of the year, right? But it's just more magnetized right now. That's why we're all feeling it. That's why we're all feeling like our head is like crooked and we don't know how to put it on straight. It's because there's stuff that is emerging just by simply being a human in this world at this time. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Right? It's like there's this magnetism and this magnetization of this courage that just starts coming through. And so when you meet yourself with that level of courage, and you meet yourself with that level of reparenting, and you meet yourself with that level of nurturing, and you meet yourself with that level of unconditional love and graciousness for what is, no matter what it is, for what is, you give yourself the full permission to soften your whole nervous system in such a way that the internal domino effect takes place with complete ease and grace. And so you open, you expand your field. And as you expand your field, you allow what is no longer coming with you to the next stage of your life to fall out effortlessly. Effortlessly. And because you learn to maximize this in this week, during this eclipse window, it continues to build with vibrational compound interest for the next 6 months until the next eclipse. It continues to build. So this is why I say, okay, when something comes up, let it come up. And not only let it come up, let it sit at your table, take the boots off, make it a beverage, have it sit around, because that's your opportunity to literally open the doors of your subconscious and go to the bottom of where that pattern originated. It's uncomfortable. It's not fun. It's going to take courage, and you need to sit and be still and be present with it. Just sit with the feelings, sit with the emotions, sit with the sensations. I went on like a 5-hour impromptu hike yesterday because I was feeling so much. I couldn't sit in my house. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to like do something with this. So I just want you to know, like I'm in it with you. I'm going through my initiations. I'm experiencing the depth and the breadth of the opportunity that is here. And so that's actually how you shortcut your ascension. And you get to the good part where you're like, let's skip and get to the good part. Well, skip and get to the good part means you have to do your inner work. And if you do your inner work and you learn how to do your inner work really well and very quick, it starts to become very easy when you have a pattern and a process of personal growth. Oh, this is a trigger. This is what came up. This is how I face it. This is how I transmute it. This is how I shift the energy around it. That's what gives you the freedom and the openness, the opportunity to develop such a strong sense of personal evaluation that you are your own strongest ally and that you are going to get yourself anywhere and everywhere you want to be in this life. It truly is extraordinary. Like truly, 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 truly is extraordinary. So let's do a little exercise here together to increase our value of self-trust. How about that? How about that, squad? Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. I'm going to open up our field with our prayer. As we call in divine truth and love into this sacred space, I invoke the highest possible healing for each and every Monad Society member, viewer, and myself. We ask for the courage and compassion to speak and to hear from the purest form of self-love and forgiveness to all involved. Siatri iokionua huapu kutrua nia iaki iawa huuku. Nunuaya ia wahu'ukutrua. I siotru, sutru, 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 ania haakatria. I watrua hai wapuku, tru, sutru, sutru. Beautiful. So feeling yourself, connecting your root chakra to the center of the planet. We want to start with a grounding cord. And if at any point you ever feel like you're having a hard time grounding and really feeling that full connection to Gaia, you can go ahead and ask Gaia to meet you. And you will feel her as an ascended master, mentor, teacher, guide here with you in your field, in your space, not in your auric field. She's here just to help you connect, to clear that channel. Beautiful. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you trust yourself right now? How much do you trust yourself to do what you say you're going to do? How reliable are you on your word to yourself? Just feel that number, whatever that number is. Let that number come to the surface and just simply be honest. Be rigorously honest. Remove and clear any shame. And it can be as simple as like saying that you're going to get to the gym and then not going to the gym. That is breaking down self-trust. It's saying you're going to do something that day and then not doing it, procrastinating and let it go on to the next. That's breaking down self-trust. It's breaking down your relationship with yourself. It's breaking down your self-confidence, right? So we want to get to this point of where are you in relation to truly, deeply trusting yourself? Now let's go ahead and ask your body. So internally from your body, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much does your body trust you? Allowing all that is you to rise to the surface. It's like there's a lot of honesty in the container, and then there's a lot of ego trickery happening as well. So I just want to speak to that. If your ego is, it's like your ego can create a false sense of self very easily, very, very easily. In fact, in some ways, that's like kind of the ego's job, is to protect you from seeing inner woundedness. Now, the job of the heart is to bring you into your authentic nature. And that is not the job of the ego, right? So when we start tapping into the consciousness of the heart, we start to recognize that there's a deeper sense of authenticity and there's a deeper sense of integrity within that will actually start shining in the light on the trickery that the ego cultivates, or that the trickery that the ego creates. And so the ego structure itself is not to be shamed. It's not to be punished. It's not to be put into a corner. Rather, it is to develop a very keen sense of rapport, of balance in your connection to the consciousness of your ego that is going to allow you to create that super speedway of communication between your head, your heart, and your intuition. Today, we're just simply going to focus on your head and your heart. Sutrai iwa hu'ukunua wa hu'utrua trianya yo asiotru unua ha'aka awana iwa wa hu'ukunuku. So the consciousness of your heart is a literal stargate. The reason that most people's hearts are shut down and they don't know how to access their Stargate, which, by the way, your soul has all of the information already embedded within you. The circumstances that are keeping you from accessing your heart is the programming, and also matrix programming, but also specifically the programming that tells you not to feel. The casual hookup culture, the don't catch feelings, you're a wimp if you speak your true emotions or true feelings, you're too much if you express your feelings and your emotions. Now, allowing yourself to be present with the inner workings of your heart. You may have an inner child aspect that arises. You may have a grudge that arises. You may have a repressed memory that arises. Now, as you give yourself the opportunity in the moment to really deeply connect to that inner space within your heart, that infinite intelligence, the consciousness of your soul, which is located in the core of your heart. It's where your soul is anchored into your body. You can find that willingness of your egoic consciousness to be willing to surrender to the healing that the heart is desiring. So here's the thing, is that the consciousness of your heart desires freedom. It desires openness. It desires expression. It requires safety, to know that you are safe. And the ego's job is to keep you safe. But the reason you carry the barricades and walls around your heart from past experiences is by your biological fight or flight mechanism. So what we're doing is we're hacking into the mainframe of the consciousness of your heart that knows how to clear and transmute discordant frequencies on contact. Su atri iani iawa akapunuku, siotrua akunua uatri. Siotro uahuonokua uatria, mukua unaya ipi asutru. Iakiatriawa, huuku aya ionyo, yatri nyo ukupu. Siotria hi akai munaya sutrua. Hi akatriawa uasi akutriawa, hu atrua moya iawa huukupu, su triawa iaki. Nonoaya iawa haakatriawa, siotruanwa iawa huuku, and then go ahead and connect your root chakra and ground it down to the center of Gaia. And just let it fall away. Whatever it is, let it fall away. If it's heavy, let it go. We don't always need to go through the photo album. We don't always need to know what we are letting go of. What is meant for you will always be here, and what is not meant for you will simply fall away. I'm also picking up that there's a little bit of shame here from missing the mark, or like missing a deadline, or missing like a checkpoint or something like that, feeling like you should be farther along in your life. And I just simply want to say that what is meant for you never misses. What is meant for you never misses. All right, so now there's a clearing taking place around negative self-talk and negative self-perception, around how you see yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you engage with yourself when you're alone with you. So we're upgrading that connection as well, upgrading that system within. Beautiful, and letting that connection between head and heart to flow all the way down through solar plexus, sacral chakra, root chakra, and down to the center of Gaia. Just bringing the light, fully encompassing your entire field with your signature frequency, your light, your internal light. And so for those of you that have not yet activated your internal divine genome, your internal monad, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So what I want to encourage you to do, I believe in consensual healing, is go ahead and put your palms face up. Even if you've taken quite a bit of my courses before, that's okay. You can go ahead and place your palms face up, and it's just going to activate another deeper layer to allow you the illumination of your light to shine a bit brighter. Siotroa wanea hi'iawa. Iawa wasa atriawa ho no kuapu satri nia sutru huukunua si atriawa noai hai atriawa pu sutru su anai iakatriawa wapu. So there's also a prayer coming in of activating ancient memories, specifically civilizations such as Lemuria, civilizations such as Atlantis, civilizations such as Andromeda, other lifetimes that you've experienced as well in multidimensional planets, planets that are vibrating in a consciousness that is above the third dimension. So just simply activating your connection and your memory to these places. Places is a funny term when we're speaking of dimensional consciousness. Troa wa muku sutru hukunuaya iapuda katria. Siateya wa hai watria wanua. And just calming the nervous system. Calming the nervous system as you allow your wings to also spread. Allow your wings to open up. Remembering your connection to the angelic realm. Delivering the true value of your soul's intention. Bringing the brilliance of the light illuminated within. And just breathe, breathe, breathe. Allowing your heart to open even more. Let's go ahead and rub palms of your hands together. Just activating your palm chakras, and go ahead and place your palms anywhere in your body you're feeling like a little bit of tension, just a little bit more of that tightness. And as you place your palms there, just set that intention to soften that energy. Just nurture and be with yourself around every single corner, on every step that you're taking on your ascension journey. And let's take a moment as well to feel the love that is in this container with all of us today. And let's go ahead and also feel the love that is in this container for all those who will watch this in the quantum field of no time, no space. And trust and know that we are not alone on this ascension journey. That what is going on in the world, what is going on specifically in the United States this year, and what is taking place in this world is that there is an extraordinary amount of beings who are here activating the light field, who are here activating the quantum grid system, who are here activating the consciousness of the planet. And we are here, right, as one golden pocket of beings who are gathering that have a remembrance, and that have a knowing. So I want to ask you, this is just kind of a fun little game that I played in the Entity Clearing Masterclass, but how many of you feel that you and I have had a past life in an ancient civilization? I believe that part of my soul agreement and part of my soul contract is to help wake up my brothers and sisters from many, 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 many different lifetimes. To be a guide and to be a way shower back to our memories. And that as we activate those memories, our behavior, our actions, how we step forward in this world activates in a different way. And so I believe that's my role. I believe that was the agreement that I took for me and for a lot of us. And so as I'm here, as I feel, showing up to my own purpose in this way, I say, it is a symbiotic, right? This is a simpatico relationship. That there's a lot for us to explore, and there's a lot for us to explore in a really, really, really good way. That there are many, many ways for us to come home to the light that is within us. And then it is when we come home to the light that is within us, then what? Then what? Then we play, then we sing, then we dance, then we come together, we build, we actualize our dreams, our visions. We support each other, we come forward in unification. You will see in this age of Aquarius, as Pluto shifts back into Aquarius, you will see the grassroots, the harmonization of people coming together in a unified field of consciousness. And we will see that more and more and more and more. And so that's what I'm about. That's what sounds funny to say that my platform is about. That's what we're using now. It's what's in the modern terms. But ultimately, that's what I stand for. I stand for the unification of our soul memories. I stand for the unification of humanity. I stand for the unification, the ascension of Gaia herself, that we are all here in support of Gaia by also connecting to the memories that we have with our star families of where we came from. That the point that we are at in this world is that we actually have more and more permission to activate and cultivate these memories in such a powerful way. How many of you here know that you came from another dimension or another place in time that is far from Earth? How many of you had that feeling of homesickness, right? Homesick. If you've had that feeling of homesickness, that unexplainable homesickness, before you could even understood what homesick was, how many of you felt that? Let's even say before the age of 10, of this feeling like you're really, really far away, but you don't even know what you're far away from. It doesn't conceptually make sense, right? But you're like, what is this? Well, I believe that part of my purpose here is helping all of us flip the switches. That's what the light codes do. That's what listening to the light language does, is that it flips all of these switches that says, okay, it's time to remember. It's time to remember home. And by the way, as we're remembering home, and home can mean so many things, but as we're remembering where we came from, let's say the last place that our soul was before we came into this world, it's that there's this accelerated excitement when we start to remember. We actually start to remember, not just that we start to remember that it's a different space, time, consciousness, but rather that we actually have those memories come online. And I will tell you right now, the memories are not in your egoic consciousness. The memories are not in your mind. The memories are not in your intellect. The memories are through the gateway of your heart, the Stargate that is your heart. That gives you access to the quantum field, the space-time continuum, the, time traveling, all of what that is. It's all activated through the center of your heart. And so if we're holding grudges, if we're holding anger, if we're holding bitterness, if we're holding resentment, our heart isn't open. And if our heart isn't open, we're not able to access these memories. And so if you put it that way and you go, okay, well, if the benefit of forgiving somebody for something that we deem as unforgivable, but if the benefit of forgiving somebody is that we get to access our soul memories, then it really makes it worth it, doesn't it? It makes it easier to forgive. It makes it easier to let go. It makes it easier to let them off. It makes it easier for you to be let off. And so that's worth celebrating. And that, I really believe, is worth celebrating, especially during this eclipse. Especially during this eclipse. We are sitting where Capricorn, or Pluto is sitting in Capricorn in retrograde for the last time before it slingshots itself back into Aquarius, still in retrograde, but in Aquarius for the next 20-ish years. And Pluto being in Aquarius is extremely significant because it is the grassroots. It is the coming together. It is the rise of the rainbow of people coming together. It is the age of prophecy. It is the tides turning from living in this matrix slave system into the embodiment of the consciousness that is a new earth. And by the way, the new earth does not need to be built. Sure, we'll keep building. Sure, we'll keep creating. But it is a consciousness that is activated within, that we become the living embodiment. We become the living conductors of this energy that continues to plant more and more of it in this world, on this earth. And so it is a consciousness that is awoken. And through that consciousness that is awoken, we will create differently. We will show up differently. We will forgive differently. We will have conversations differently. We will relate differently. And that's where the celebration of where it is that we are going comes into place. So I encourage you not to look around at the world and go like, I don't want to give that too much energy. Rather, we look around in the world and we go, okay, there's a lot of us coming together, right? This is like a little golden pocket of alive that we have in the middle of the week. But there are so many circles of so many people, of so many awakened beings that are continuing to bring this light and the illumination of this consciousness. That's why we're seeing an acceleration of the Great Awakening. That's why we're seeing an acceleration of more and more and more people waking up and coming online now than we ever have before. It's not because it's trendy, because once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. It's not a trend. It is why we're here. It is the point. It's why you incarnated. It's your reason for being, is to experience this world at this time. And so I want to celebrate you for being here with me today. I want to celebrate you for taking the time to connect with your heart, with your soul, with your memories. I want to celebrate you for maximizing this eclipse window. I just want to honor all of the goodness that is you. In case you haven't given yourself a gold medal award for being human recently, I want to go ahead and encourage you to take a moment to close your eyes and just receive your gold medal for being human, for choosing to incarnate, for choosing to be here, for choosing to do this, do the whole thing, right? And I want to remind you, if you're interested in doing any of my courses or programs, you can go ahead and check the link in the bio. I usually have all sorts of fancy keywords. But right now I'm still integrating the Entity Clearing Masterclass. And even if you want to do that one, I think the checkout page is still active. You can just type clear in the comments here, which I highly, highly recommend. If you miss the boat on that, this is a chance to do that. Again, you can just type clear in the comments section here. It was a really, really powerful class. For those of you that were in the Entity Clearing Masterclass and would like to share a reflection in the comments, please feel free to do so, because we all know that the more brothers and sisters that we have on that journey with us, the better off we're all going to be together. But it was a very, very potent container. It even surprised me. That doesn't happen often, but it even surprised me. And the healing that I've experienced personally on the other side of that has been nothing short of extraordinary. It's been so deeply uncomfortable and confronting, and simultaneously so refreshing because of how beneficial it is when it all comes to the surface. And we're able to move through it, and we're able to maximize it. So I want to say thank you so much for sharing this live with me. And please, please, please play the algorithm game with me. Go to my page and like, comment, do the things. It all really helps. it all really helps. We have to, we got to play these modern games sometimes. So I appreciate your participation in that way and being here with me and supporting my vision, my dreams, my heart, my purpose. It's just not as fun without all of us. All right. So Michelle's saying it was way more comprehensive than you expected and much lighter than the title implies. Light-filled and expansive curriculum. I love that. Yes, Zaya, you can buy the Dragon series. That door is open. You can see that in my stories right now or on the last reel that I posted as well. Just know they're strong. They're strong meds. I think I slept for about 6 days after the Dragon activation in Dubai. That one was quite potent. A lot of ascension coming through in that way as well, especially when we're doing that deep inner earth grid work. Beautiful. You're welcome, Jordan. Thank you, Mara. Thank you so much for the love. Joan, the Dragon series was also amazing. Good. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I've even been feeling to go back and re-listen to a couple pieces myself. Truly. All right, my dears. Well, let's go ahead and close out our container here today. As we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our session here is very much in love and very much complete. All right, from my heart to yours, big quantum group hug. Zaya, yes, I did record it in Dubai. The whole thing happened in Dubai. The entity class was extraordinary. Thank you, Neon Dreams. You're welcome, my dears. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon, and thanks for spending time with me here today. Mwah. Ciao, ciao. And we want to share a big, generous thank you to our listeners who decide to become Monad Society members. This supports this podcast so we can stay true to our heart-centered vision of freedom in topic and expression. We are happy to welcome new members into Align, our community that meets twice monthly for deep dive transmissions, Build, our quantum business development for intuitive entrepreneurs from $0 to $10,000 a month, and Rise, our advanced level psychic development and scale your business course for high-level founders and CEOs by application only. I'm grateful that Monad itself is a sponsor for this powerful and free offering. So please know your invitation to join our movement is here and now. Please click the link in the description below, monadsociety.com/Sitara Speaks, to see what offering resonates with your higher calling. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Beyond the Physical. I hope you found our discussion enlightening and inspiring. Remember that this is an ongoing journey, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to hear more, I encourage you to subscribe so you don't miss on any of our future episodes. Connect with me on social at sitara.speaks for more insights and updates. Until next time, stay connected to your inner wisdom and keep shining your light.